also a very practical person, you know, and when you become a manager, you understand that you don't manage your own club, the club that you say is your club forever. And obviously I've been on a different path since I left Chelsea. But to come back in a time where the club have asked me to come and take the role, of course that's the most important thing, but also with a belief that I can come and help the cause in this period to the end of the season. So I'm delighted to get that opportunity, and I want to be, you know, I'm thankful for that, to the people that decided to give me that opportunity. I'm confident in myself. I have a good understanding of the squad. Of course, I've worked with a lot of them before, but also the training ground, the stadium, the fans, what Chelsea fans want, and I'll do my utmost in this period coming to give them what they want with my own hard work.
Have you been told that this is strictly until the end of the season, regardless of what happens on the pitch?
No, but I think the role and the explanation of my role speaks for itself and the period that I'm here for. So on that term, I'm not getting anywhere ahead of myself. I want to do the best possible role I can in a way that I can impact the club in the best way in this period, and after that we'll see what happens.
Because you'll be aware, obviously, Roberto Di Matteo, when he led the team to Champions League glory, he stayed on. Is that an incentive for you?
I don't think it's worth speaking about, you know, past moments. You know, Roberto did an incredible job and stayed on. That's a different part of Chelsea's history, and for
Hello. Anybody home? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good whatever time it is in your location. God is good all the time. Smile no matter what. And say hi to people. Be nice to each other. How everybody is doing? Good? All right, so we are here for the Premier League match week 30. Give me some feedbacks if you can see me and you can hear me before we start, and say hi to people. You know, doesn't cost anything. Just be kind. Say hi, where are you from? So we can give you a shout or something. All right, so this is the link here for everybody to call, no exception. You can just click on this link here and call us. And don't forget to like, subscribe. This is a very, very small channel we're trying to push. If you can help us get 1,000 today, it's going to be amazing. We are almost there. So you have to double check if you haven't subscribed yet. And what are you waiting for? This is your own channel, the channel for the people. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. So now you can join us live from the White House today, USA. And here we go. Let me go and see if some people already say hi to us. Myself and Mr. Sock. Mr. Sock, who don't say hi. He just came to push his narrative. Interim of morality. I want Arsenal to win because they never won. In terms of morality, you want Arsenal to win because they never won EPL for a long time. But in terms of Chelsea fan, I want Manchester City to win then. Okay, that is understandable. Everything is okay according to him. Or at least he's talking. Other people are just watching instead of saying hi or liking the stream. What is going on here? All right, I think everything is working good. Just getting ahead of myself here. But anyways, get into the poll, the voting system there. You tell us who's going to win. This weekend could be a turning point if somehow Liverpool beat Arsenal. That opened that closes the gap between Arsenal and Manchester City. And I think Manchester City are gonna win their game this weekend. So it's gonna be interesting. 2-horse race for the final sprint of the season. What is our White House doing behind there? I don't get your question. Yeah, White House is mine too, right? That is my right to use the White House. All right. I just hope that Chelsea win. Yeah, Chelsea win is going to be amazing. And if you don't like the White House, why can't we go and to the capital? The capital, so we can make some laws today. All right, so no White House, no problem. We go to the capital. All right, so let's go. And if you wanna join us, feel free to do so. I'm waiting here for more people to join. So kind of settling a little bit and reading some headlines. Fabrizio Romano is talking about this guy here, Lavia. Lavia is one of the best in the Premier League right now, and Southampton might go down. It looks like it's already sealed. Still need to be delivered, right? So they are going to the Championship. I don't think somebody with Lavia's quality is gonna accept to go to the Championship. They have to sell him, and he's gonna cost like a lot of money. Chelsea wanted him, 50 million was rejected. Manchester City got like 40 million buyback clause, but that is going to be activated in 2024. So if this year, 2023, Southampton goes down, they're going to sell him because the clause is not activated yet. It's going to be activated in 2024. So Southampton still have like the power now in hand to sell him in whatever price they want. So if City want him and he wanna go to City, and then City needs to bid on the market just like anybody else. If it was 2024, that is a different story. You have no choice. They give you 40 million. He's back at Manchester City. But this year it's gonna be, you want him, you pay the normal market value, the money that we're asking for. So I think this guy is going to be sold around 60 to 65 because they rejected 50 million from Chelsea. So going to be very interesting to see what is going to happen, my friend. All right, let me go and read some comment here. Do you have press conference again for match today? Do we have press conference again for match today? I think it was that the yesterday one was like everything, Maybe he might have a press conference with the newspaper or something, because there are so many press conferences, right? It's not only when we see, when we see on TV, but they have like the daily, they have like the Sundays, they have the such and such. So when he finishes one press conference, he's gonna run another one. So probably there is an embargo about one part of the press conference. That's what they do. The first one, and then they're gonna tell you, you don't release this press conference until Monday noon, for example, but it's already recorded, but nobody has the right to publish it. Because how can back-to-back press conferences like this when he still needs to coach the team? They've been here for less than 24 hours, so I think he's gonna need more time on the pitch than talking to people, right? But I don't know. I'm not aware of another press conference today, but we might see another kind of press conference that was pre-recorded. All right, so let's go. Because I think it was almost it didn't really make sense that he was going to preview the game against Wolves, and we're talking about Frank Lampard here, when he didn't even have one training session with the team. So like now he can talk a little bit more about the game on Saturday, tomorrow, because he already met the team. They already had one training session. Another one is happening right now, or finished already, and another one is gonna be tonight, this afternoon. I don't even know what time it is in London now. So the second training session is gonna take place very soon. So he might have already an idea and who is fit and who is not. So yeah, we expect something from the media, but not probably the normal press conference. Probably some kind of interview with, quick interview or something. All right, people. So get there and call us right now. Have your say. Lavia is a very good player. Let's see. So even if Manchester City want him, he need to approve. He need to want also to go to Manchester City. He's going to be a wanted man on the market. Chelsea been linked with the guy and other big clubs too, because he's good. All right, so we just reading some headlines while we are waiting for people to come and join us. Tottenham Hotspurs have appointed Scott Mann as chief football officer. What that even means? Sporting director, football chief officer. Is that to replace like a Paratici or something? Because the guy resigned, he still has some trouble with some justice over there in Italy, and was extended worldwide. So he just stepped down from his position at Tottenham. So is this guy the guy that will take care of other like business dealings and transfers and all that? I don't know. So if so I don't even know what he'll be doing, because it's Tottenham, man. They don't need even anybody, because what the point? They just keep on losing. Okay. Scott will be joining the club board and will take charge of our footballing department. That's what the club announced. His appointment is not related to Fabio Paratici's situation. Waiting on appeal day, April 19. So if the appeal is successful, I don't know if Paratici is going to come back and be their sporting director or something, but I think he's gone. I don't see him coming back to Tottenham Hotspurs, and it's going to be interesting to see how or what manager they're gonna get next summer. They will be fighting with Chelsea for Enrique and also for Nagelsmann or Ancelotti. Who's gonna become Tottenham Hotspur's new head coach? I don't know. They have to go back to the basics, get Pochettino, or get somebody unknown, just like they got Pochettino actually from Southampton, and he did wonder over there. I think they should go the same way. Somebody that don't have a big name, who can work with youngsters and project and play beautiful football, so they can start rebuilding. So they have just to stop copying Chelsea and hiring Chelsea's reject, and they have to have their own business model. Look at Brighton, what they did. They went for the Zerbi. The Zerbi was there with Shakhtar, and he wasn't like a big name. Don't get me wrong, Shakhtar are big, and they go to like Champions League almost often. Let's say that. But it's not like, wow, what a manager kind of. He was at Sassuolo. He did good. But he was like in a certain level. Many people didn't really notice him that much. And then now he's at Brighton. Everybody can see his quality. So I think Tottenham Hotspurs need to go that way and not search only for like big managers, big character to win now. They have to go and find that germ of a manager that can be good with youngsters, can play a very good brand of football and build for the future. So yes, Mr. Pod.
How you doing? You okay?
Yes, sir. I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm very good.
All right. The floor is yours.
What do you want me to talk about?
Nothing. You know what the principle of this channel shows are. It's like if you have your own topic, you wanna talk about whatever is in your head because it's for the people, right? But if you want me to give you some guidance, it's just the weekend. The weekend is coming.
I guess we could talk about Frank coming in. There's been a bit of a mixed reaction from the fan base and from media outlets, which was always going to be the case because our ownership is unorganized. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be the right thing. If anybody can give them a kick up the backside, it is Frank Lampard, former legend. They'll know the expectation is high, and we're just gonna have to. We're just gonna have to hope that we can start scoring goals. I think if we can score goals, I think that will give us a lot of confidence going into the next game.
Yeah. I don't want to cut you, but scoring goals is not a problem for Lampard. It's keeping the ball out of our own net is the problem. He always got caught on transitions, and defensively he's really horrible. Let's be honest here. I'm a Frank Lampard boy, but somebody need to tell the truth. And we saw how many stupid goals we conceded because of his decision making and his ability or no ability to defend a role. So for me, I would suggest him to continue a little bit with back three or back five, whatever what do you call it, and try to be tough, just very, very tough like a nail. Tough to beat, and then we have quality to counter and punish some teams. I want to see him finding a balance between attack and defense.
Yeah,
what is your
you might be right, but I don't listen. Look, I think you can be tactically astute as much as you want, but that didn't exactly bring us league success under Tuchel. And in the cup competitions.
But we are not talking about winning the league or cup competition. No, we are talking about 10 games. We want to win those games. We want to be as tough as we can.
I think,
and give a good impression.
I think that's not the priority, though, is it? The priority is the Champions League. The priority is beating Real Madrid. But
even with Real Madrid, that's why you have to blend at the back. You have just to be strong.
I don't think so. I think we should attack. I think we should attack because defensively we are a mess, as you say. But we're a mess because we can't take our chances. We saw in the last game we never took our chances. And defensively, we were fine. We were okay. We did okay. But if you can't score goals, you're not going to win games. It ultimately comes down to the game has changed so much now. We have to accept that we need to move away from three at the back. We need to move away from that system.
You don't get me.
It doesn't work for us.
I got you. But that is for long term. This guy here is for a short period of time. Try to bring some kind of positivity in the group. Imagine if he opens up, we're going to score goals. Under Lampard, he knows how to score goals, but he doesn't know how to defend. So it's gonna be the first loss that this
I
guy
wouldn't
is.
agree with that. I
Yeah,
wouldn't agree with that.
I respect
I
that.
don't. I don't
This
think
is
it's.
this
I
is
don't. I
the.
don't think that's. I don't think that's. For me, I'll be honest with you right now. If you said to me, we're gonna win every game 3-2 or 3-1, and we concede, fine. That's the modern game. We have to score goals. The problem has been even under Potter, we weren't taking our chances. It all
We are
stems
talking the
from
same thing. We are talking the same thing. There is no
but
balance.
defensively.
Sometimes we
No, there
score
is no
and we
balance.
don't keep. We score and we don't keep a clean sheet, or we keep a clean sheet and we don't score. It's always that way. You don't get me. I'm saying we have to be balanced a little bit. And
I don't think we can be.
okay,
I
I'll be
don't
back
think
to
we
you
can
because
be.
somebody is waiting here. I wanted to have like a transition and say hi to him so we can come
Yeah,
back
sure.
to you. We still have a lot of time to go back and forth. So, and you know me, I always respect people's opinion. That is just my opinion. Aziz,
Yes, sir.
go.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
First, I was surprised Lampard was given the job as an interim coach because to me there was no brainer in appointing Lampard. Let's be frank, because Lampard was actually failed at Chelsea his second season when they gave him money. You all know that. Until Abramovich had to sack him so that it wasn't going to be as worse as Potter. Remember, we're losing back to back, losing and drawing back to back. Remember that? But I want to be positive. One thing about Lampard is that we're going to score goals, but we're going to concede because he doesn't know how to defend. And I was thinking we're going to get a manager with experience because the only thing we can fight for is the Champions League. Or if we have given up hope on winning the Champions League, I'm going to sit down and just follow the ride. But to me, appointing Lampard was a no-brainer because, one, this is the same man that almost relegated Everton until Sean Dyche is able to steady the ship. This is the same man that relegated Everton, that almost relegated Everton. This was the same man that was given 300 million at Chelsea and he failed. And you're giving him back to the job. What's the difference between Potter and Frank Lampard?
That's not true. Let's not do this now. You're not giving the context as to what happened. He was given 300 million. No, that is not what happened. The owner.
One question, sir. Was he given 300 million to
Aziz,
spend?
No, he wasn't.
let him
The
finish.
board bought the
We have to
players.
structure a little bit.
Okay,
You talk and you
okay.
let somebody finish, and then we're gonna come
Okay.
back to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go, Mr. Pod. Mr. Pod,
Yeah,
we
all
can
I'm
hear
saying
you.
is
Yeah.
all I'm saying is this. Look, when
Mm.
people make this, when they look back at this, the Frank Lampard second season, oh, he spent 300 million.
Mm.
No, the board wanted, so instead of giving Frank the patience and the time that he needed as a manager, because he was still raw himself, he wanted to catapult us from top four, right, all the way to competing for the league title, which it was never gonna happen because of the issues at Chelsea anyway. We needed to take our time. We needed to build a team for the future, a bit like what Klopp did with Liverpool and what Mikel Arteta is doing with Arsenal. People can't see this, and I don't know why. They really think that it's gonna happen again. It's extremely difficult now because it's not just Manchester United. There's several other teams now that are top teams that have got money, and you've got to turn up against them as well. So this thing where we used to spend big, we used to get a top class manager in, and then we used to turn it around. In my opinion, that will never ever happen again in terms of league success. The cup competitions are completely different. You can't go by cup success. You go by league success. The league is the definition of how good you really are in your own domestic league, in your own domestic country. In terms of Frank Lampard, look, I'm not saying he didn't get it right, but he was trying to shoehorn in Havertz when it wasn't working. He put Tammy Abraham on the side, which he should not have done. He should have stuck with his team, his formation, and gone again the season after. The problem is when the owner and the board spend so much money, the expectation is You can't have a 70 million pound player or 80 million pound player sitting on the sidelines. We also have to remember Werner, who was hit and miss as well in front of goal. He did everything right apart from score. If he'd have scored half of his chances, I believe Frank Lampard would still be in his job. He still would have made top 4.
Yeah,
So when people say, "Oh, Frank Lampard wasted 300 million," no, he didn't. The board. This is the problem we've had at Chelsea. We did not have a footballing structure. We didn't have Vavelli at that time. That woman that I don't know what her name was.
Marina Granovskaya.
Yes, she's responsible for where we are now. Because you know what? You should have used some common sense, thinking, okay, you're buying all these players. What is the plan? At Chelsea, it's always try and win a trophy. It's not longevity thinking, okay, let's build for the future. We want to eventually win the league title. If that is not the primary purpose of our club, then you know what? I will be quiet and I'll say, you know what? I'm just up for the ride. Because that's what the primary purpose should be. We want to compete with Man City. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, so I'm going to come back to you, my friend. I'm trying to structure here. Aziz, I will come back to you so you can respond. We have to just respect you talk and then you let another person answer. Let me just read this very interesting as we say goodbye to the best manager in the history of Chelsea Football Club, Mr. Bruno Saltor. His coaching credential or statistic at Chelsea Football Club, he never lost any game for Chelsea. 1 match, 0 win, but that is a draw. 0 no goal, no assist, 14 times smiley. He smiled 14 times, 2 times handshake with Jurgen Klopp, 5 times mouth opened wide, 2 times offside, 1 goal celebration. What an end of an era. 100%. So somebody said here, this is Mr. People Republic who put it. So I thought it was an interesting joke that he made here. But yeah, the legend, he's a legend, right? Never lost a game of football in the Premier League, and he played against Jurgen Klopp. So that was interesting. Somebody say, I don't think Lampard can handle this team called Chelsea. He need a very achievable. We need a very achievable coach that can lead the team to a better place. A tactical one. Okay. I got your idea here, Mr. Ololadi. Okay, that is difficult to pronounce. I don't know. I'm sorry if I completely destroyed your name. All right, Aziz. So let me just go back, and now the floor is yours. So what Mr. Pod was trying to say is like, you are talking, but you're not giving context behind it. There were a lot of stuff behind it. And I can even add the December Chelsea traditional slump, December injuries and slump, the C19 virus, no preseason. And even when he was sacked, even Werner got even injured. Kai Havertz couldn't cope with a new country and all that. And you can say, oh, look at Thomas Tuchel came for 3 months and won it. But Thomas Tuchel came the right time where everybody was coming already from injuries. And then with the bounce and everything, boom, boom, boom. And then we went to win. And after we won that Champions League, if you are honest enough, you don't just copy-paste narrative, you will say that we were horrible. We were horrible for like 12 months. Of like suffering FC. But nobody is going to remember that because we won a trophy. We got to a final. But the context behind it, nobody is going to see it. It just, Frank Lampard was bad just because somebody came and then start winning. It's just like now. Let's say Porra was suffering with 11 injuries at some point, like the entire first team. Now Frank Lampard is coming. Everybody is coming back from an injury. Okay, so humanly, it's just simple common sense to see that we're going to do better with N'Golo Kante in the team. But probably if N'Golo Kante was back then when Mr. Porra was struggling, probably we were going to get a draw instead of a loss. Okay? Or if, and you don't understand, like slowly and surely people improve. let's say Joao Felix starts scoring now, and it's not necessarily about Graham Potter couldn't make him score, but probably he's reaching the point where you feel more confident to score. So there are those little things that people just don't pay attention. We pay too much attention to black or white. Oh, look at him. He come here 1 month and he won all the games. Well, 12 injuries, brother. No preseason. The World Cup in the middle of December. All that is going to play a part when it comes to performing at Chelsea. But it is what it is. It's about narrative in today's world. So let's go. Aziz, the floor is yours, brother. Let's go.
One thing I want to say. The gentleman, Mr. Pod, was saying that, it was Marina that sanctioned all those players. One thing I want to say, that season that Lampard was sacked, Lampard was one that told the board he wanted Kai Havertz. He was one that told the board.
Roman. That was Roman. Even the Athletic reported Roman Abramovich personal choice of Kai Havertz because
one question. But okay, before
I can even send you the link.
Yeah, you can send the link.
Don't really lie.
Before
there were so many players there that Abramovich wanted Torres. Ancelotti didn't even know. He was just informed Torres is driving to Cobham. Just find a way to play him. He had his own personal choices because he's the boss. But yeah, let's assume it was Frank. But new country, he got the virus 19. He was out for almost like 2 months, very weak. That doesn't count. Hakim Ziyech, he just joined the team, played only 1 game, boom, got injured. Tammy Abraham suffering with injuries. If you go to those little details about December and January when we fall apart, it makes a perfect sense that anybody was going to fail. But just because another guy came end of January, probably beginning of February, and won everything, while everybody came back from injury and the problem start to balance out. And before Lampard was sacked, I think we went like 3 games without losing. And then, but the decision was already made. He need to go so we can do the Chelsea thing, take the bounce, and go win. That's what we did. So I'm telling you that it's better to have N'Golo Kante in your team, have Mateo Kovacic 100% fit, Reece James 100% fit, Chile 100% fit is better because we have more attacking options. We can score even goals from those players than not having them at all. You see what I'm trying to say here? I'm not trying to defend like Graham Potter, but it's just simple common sense that you have a better chance of winning with Chile and Reece James from the wing-back positions than win with Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Cucurella. It's just simple common sense. You see what I'm trying to say here? So it's not like necessarily Frank Lampard is going to be better than Potter just because he's winning, but the conditions are getting better in this period of time that will allow him to win games. And if Potter had the same conditions, probably he was going to win some games. We never know, but there is a probability here that he could. But yeah, let's go, brother. Say whatever. Say what you wanted to say. I'm not going to cut you anymore.
This same Frank Lampard. This same Frank Lampard.
You can jump into this while Mr. Aziz still probably busy with the family or something.
Are you still there?
Nobody is talking. What's going on? It's me or is somebody?
Yeah, we're here.
It's me. I can't hear anything. Let me fix it. Give me a second, people. I see where the problem is. I couldn't hear you and I was like, what the hell? Okay, I think it's fixed. Can somebody talk, please?
Hello?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Good.
This same Frank Lampard wanted N'Golo Kante out of the squad. Wanted Rudiger
where are you taking those theories?
He wanted Rudiger out of the squad.
N'Golo Kante, you just say N'Golo Kante first.
Because I swear down, he was like, he wanted new, younger players.
Wow.
Every manager know a fit N'Golo Kante Okay, N'Golo Kante only played how many minutes against Liverpool? It showed what we've missed so far in the season.
I never heard. This is the first time that I heard Lampard wanted
check.
N'Golo
I'm going to
Kante
send you
out.
the link. He wanted this guy. He wanted to get what's his name, Declan Rice, and he wanted Declan Rice. I swear down. He wanted Rudiger out of the team. You know, him and Rudiger clashed. He wanted Rudiger out of the team. He asked him out of the team. He asked all the big players that could, if the team is going bad, that could help the team. He asked all of them. Even Frank Lampard said, I made some terrible choices. When Gary Neville was interviewing him, he said, I made some terrible choices there. Some of the big players, it wasn't meant to kick them like, oh, you are nobody. I don't want you in the team. That's the way he treated those players. Tony Rudiger. Look at Tony Rudiger when Tuchel came in. Tony Rudiger became from one of the worst defenders to the best defenders in the world. This is something like, you don't just kick your big players away. Frank Lampard doesn't have people skills. I'm not even talking about managerial skills. Look at what he did to Doucouré at Everton. Now Doucouré has now become one of the best midfielders now under Sean Dyche, because you are kicking all these players that could help you out,
Doucouré was injured for more than 3 months. For your information, under Frank Lampard, because I was watching and doing every single watch along when he was there. Doucouré was injured most of the time. The problem with you, Mr. Aziz, is like you copy every single theory that is there on social media.
Shall we? Yeah. If you want to mention Everton, okay, so why don't you talk about?
We are jumping all over the place. Let's structure this.
Way he changed Iwobi's game. If you're going to talk about Everton,
exactly,
talk about Iwobi. He's a much better player now in the midfield. Can you imagine Frank Lampard changed his position? Can you imagine that?
And also you can talk even about Anthony Gordon, who cost like 60 million to like Newcastle to buy him because of Lampard's job that he did on him from the academy and promote him. Doucouré, you can say Yerry Mina, you can say even Michael, what is the last name? A lot of them were struggling with a lot of injuries. I don't think he had any issue with anybody. You don't talk about Onana, what level he reached there. It's a different club and different environment, different situation. I think we should just focus on this one. But what I hear from you is like jumping all over the place and copying, pasting the narrative. Just because somebody said something, it doesn't make it true. It's just what that person wanna push. Like now, Mason Mount is demanding 300 million because of people, people who hate him, who want to throw a bunch of money there to make him look evil. It doesn't mean that this is true. So those little things that you have to use common sense, but common sense is not going to apply when you hate somebody and you want to make him look like evil. So Frank Lampard, I never heard of him wanting N'Golo Kante out. And Tony Rudiger, yes, you can say it. But let me give you an example. Tony Rudiger is terrible back four. Under Sarri, he showed us. And every time he played, there were games that even you, I don't know, I didn't know you back then, but many people in the Chelsea community said, I don't want to see this guy play one more minute in the Chelsea shirt anymore, because how terrible he was. So let's be honest, sometimes even if we hate somebody, Rudiger back four, when he came to Chelsea, a lot of injuries and all that, and that tells you that a system or a manager can make you world class or average. That is, playing from your position can make you a world class. Thomas Tuchel came. He changed the system immediately. Back three, incredible, the best in the world, Tony Rudiger. But for years that he signed for Chelsea, let's be honest, one more time, the guy was just average under Sarri. How many mistakes, how many times I made video like, I don't want to see this brother here. Not even with Lampard, because he was terrible. And he changed his life. He got to his prime. The system fit him just like a glove. And the brother was awesome. And listen, a manager got 25 players in the squad, there will be always somebody that will pay the price. Somebody is going to regret, not necessarily that the coach hate him or whatever, but some people are going to pay the price of a new management and new system. Congratulations to Rudiger, but I don't think back then when he was struggling, you were going to say the same thing. So I don't know what we're talking about here. But yeah, Mr. Pod, you wanted to say something. I just cut you.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
One question.
Look. Oh, sorry. Go on.
One question.
Yes, sir.
Why was I'm just asking Mr. Pod this question. Why was Lampard sacked at Chelsea?
Because second season,
Yes, sir.
he couldn't get the players to play for him because he had to introduce Kai Havertz into the team as well as Timo Werner. But if you look at the first few games, I think it was the Liverpool game was maybe first game of the season or maybe second or third. When we played Liverpool and we were down to 10 men, we played really well, but we just couldn't score. So, but he was sacked because he couldn't manage top European talent because he was still raw as a manager. We knew what we were getting. You have to understand that management. When you get in a manager who's unproven and you bring him in to an elite club, if you're not going to give him time and you're going to treat him like every other manager, it's always more likely to fail than it is to succeed. When he got us top four with our youngsters, nobody talks about how amazing he did. It was a brilliant job. Tammy Abraham scored 15 league goals that season. His Premier League debut season.
16.
No one talks about that.
If he was taking penalties, I think he was going to fight with Harry Kane because Harry Kane and Salah that season they had 22. Jorginho had 10 penalties for Chelsea.
And also, what I would say is our own fan base was putting Tammy Abraham down, saying he's not the man.
That's the problem.
Since Tammy Abraham has gone, who scored 15 Premier League goals? Nobody.
Nobody did
so,
it.
our fan base knows nothing about. I don't even know much
it's
about
all narrative,
I'm going by what I
paste.
see.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own opinion, but when a player scores 15 Premier League goals and he comes from our academy, we should treat him how Arsenal and Man United treat their youngsters, thinking, you know what, this kid is talented. He should be in and around the first team, and we need to get him. If he got 15 first season and you play to his strengths, he's going to get at least 15 again if he's not injured. So no one can say to me it was a fluke or anything like that because this guy just came in.
Yeah, okay.
So also what I would like to say is in terms of second season, Frank did not manage it well. We spent a lot of money. If we didn't spend 300 million, if we'd have already spent 60, 70 million, Thomas Tuchel would probably never have come and Frank would probably still be in a job.
All right, we're going to come back to you because we have 6 other people just join us. We have Mohammed, Jamal, we have King, Chelsea, and we have Tokiro. And then we have People's Republic. Hello, gentlemen. Are you all right today, everybody?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, nice. I'm good.
All right, good. All right, Jamal, you came first. What do you have to say, brother?
I want to talk about. I will just continue what you guys are talking about Tammy Abraham. I honestly never understood why we sold him because, I think we were just. We thought Lukaku was going to be that guy, the one that was going to score us goals. And honestly, Tammy Abraham never really played bad. I don't know why people didn't like him. Honestly, I liked Tammy Abraham. I liked him. He was very good. I think Tom Tuchel said the problem was his link-up play. I don't know what was wrong with his link-up play. That game where Havertz scored his first ever hat-trick? We saw him linking up play a lot with Havertz.
Yeah, I remember.
So that. I don't know why they sold Tammy Abraham anyways, and we live to regret it as we saw him in Roma just firing goals in for fun.
All right, let's go, King Chelsea.
Honestly, agree with Mohammed. I still don't understand why we sold Tammy Abraham. He was such a good player for us. He did bang in a lot of goals for us, which I liked. But I still don't understand the reason why we sold him.
But because everybody, even including me, I was at some point I was sold to the Lukaku ideas. I started to say keep Tammy Abraham for one more season, and let fight next season for Haaland and all that. But when people convinced me in this same channel here, they said, no, Lukaku is the best in Europe right now. He's the missing piece. Tammy is just tapping Tammy, and he's not good enough. I was like, yeah, let's give it a chance, because that's what I do. Even if I don't like somebody, I don't feel it. But when you sign for Chelsea, I have to support you, and I have to call you. Back then, I was saying that Lukaku is going to be better than Haaland. You know, that's how deluded I was.
Yeah.
So look at him today. We can't. All right, Mr. Tokiro is a Tottenham fan. If you want to jump to the Tottenham topic, it's okay. If you want to join us to the discussion, that is your choice. Tottenham just hire somebody like a sporting director or somebody there. I don't know. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it. But I think I want to talk about something about Tammy Abraham. I think,
yes.
I understand why he went on loan, because there's so much, like, would you rather take someone young or someone who has experience that scored a bunch of goals and understands football? It's like there's differences, and I think loan, so then we can see his potential and then come back to see if he can compete with those.
Well, actually, we sold him with option to buy back, not like a loan. We really sold him. So from this summer, we can go with 80 million euros, which is less than, I don't know, let's say 70 million pound. We can get him, but I don't think he's gonna come back, and I don't want him to come back for what he went through at Chelsea. Was abuse.
It's better for his career.
Yeah, I think he should just continue somewhere else instead of coming to Chelsea and face all this 24/7 hate online. Let him be where he is. So we're gonna come back to you, my brother. Let's go. People's Republic. Are you there?
Bonsoir or good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
And, so you guys were talking about Lamps. So from what I understand from you and from the other gentleman,
yes,
Lamps he's supposed to be this big guru who.
Nobody say that. We are just using context. You're just making it that just to win the debate.
Hang on. You guys, you were saying that he's developed all these youngsters at Everton. He's made them into world class. Blah blah blah. Fair enough. And he did that at Chelsea. We agree. But so hiring him to come for a short stay. Now, he obviously doesn't have time to develop all these young players. He's there to manage big egos, which he failed before. So the hiring doesn't make any sense. If he's there, is he there to develop young players to bring in the team, or is he there to manage these big egos and somehow make them blend into a team?
Mr. Pod, your answer, bro.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, okay. So firstly, what you said initially about saying we said this and that's not true. You should like, if you're gonna like say we said certain things, make sure you actually say the words that came out of our mouth, because we never said that. In terms of Frank Lampard, you should be aiming this, and I've said this before. I don't understand why Chelsea fans don't use common sense sometimes. Did you guys honestly think our owner had a plan? He didn't have a plan. He did not have a plan. Frank Lampard was by luck. He was at that game. Probably thought, you know what, better get Frank in. He had no plan when he replaced Thomas Tuchel. Graham Potter. That's just my opinion. Now we've got Frank Lampard in, and we have to ask ourselves. The only guy that I would have trusted for the short term was Gus Hiddink, but he's not going to come because he's wrong. So we have to. Who else are we going to get? Imagine we get a world-class manager and it doesn't go well. So are we going to say fire the world-class manager? We're going to say, oh, get rid of Nagelsmann. We don't want him now. It's not work, blah, blah, blah. Our fan base is appalling at the moment. They've got no patience. They're not willing to give a guy time. So Frank's here to the end of the season. What I will say is this. If Frank wins the Champions League, he deserves the right to go next season. He deserves that right if he wins the Champions League, which is a big ask. But Thomas Tuchel somehow, some way managed it. And we have to remember, Frank Lampard in the Champions League, he was doing all right. Just in the league, it wasn't going well. In terms of managing egos, listen, I think some of the players that didn't get on with Frank at the time are not there at the club. Now Frank has to come in, pick his best team, get Mason Mount back in the team, because since he's been gone, we've not been winning anyway. And the midfield needs a bit of a shuffle. And we need, in my opinion, we need to learn how to score goals again. And Kai Havertz needs to be rotated with Ober or whoever else you want to play up top as as the striker. But in terms of what you are saying, it's right. He didn't do well in his second season, but there is a lot of context as to why he didn't do well. When you're bringing in a lot of talent for a lot of money and then you're forced to play them, his system never looked good with Kai Havertz in. It never, because he was always trying to fit Kai Havertz in when you could see that Tammy Abraham was the guy for his system. So ultimately, we've given Kai such a big long run, and for me, I will always respect Kai, but you can see that unfortunately in the Premier League, it doesn't work. In Europe, he's fine, but in the Premier League, it just hasn't worked. And I can honestly say that, look, he needs to go to a different league. I don't think it'll work in the Premier League. So once his contract is up after a couple of seasons, we need to look elsewhere. I'm not saying he can't do a job, but what I'm saying is, if we want goals, I just don't think Kai is the man. And I think Frank Lampard, it's a short-term stay. If he gets beat in the Champions League, it's not a big deal. But if he wins the Champions League, then that's a different conversation. But in terms of the expectation is, can we score goals and beat the rest of can we win about 70-80% of these games now? And the one on Saturday or Sunday against Wolves is, in my opinion, a winnable game. We just have to hope that these boys can do what they couldn't do under Graham Potter, and that's score in that big rectangle.
Yeah.
But I listen, I'm going to back the manager. I really am. I don't care what Chelsea fans say. I'm backing the man. I've always backed the manager. I back Potter, and I'm going to back this guy, and I'm going to back the next guy.
Yeah,
because,
that's
you know
you are like
the
me.
club's a shambles.
You are like me, because me, even if you bring Big Sam today, I will find something positive about Big Sam. I will say, yeah, he can park the bus, and support. That's a problem. It's not necessarily that I choose that person. And what I have to disagree a little bit with Mr. Pod is, even if Frank Lampard wins the Champions League, that is going to be like a perfect time for him to leave with some honor, dignity, instead of getting sacked. So he's going to put himself in the shopping window over there, and he's going to find another good job. So it's kind of a win-win situation here. He's going to bring more, something new in the dressing room, and probably we're going to win some games here and a feel-good factor until the end of the season. And then for himself, it's kind of the narrative been going on. He failed at Chelsea, he failed at Everton without any kind of context. Injuries doesn't count. The C19 virus doesn't count. The lack of preseason doesn't count. Everything doesn't count, because it's always black or white. There is no gray area. There's no green. Nothing happened in between. It's you are in or you are out. That is not how I see my world. There's a lot of context behind, and you already said pretty much everything. But nobody's gonna listen to you, because the new guy who came won the Champions League. Okay, why? Because Ben Chilwell was back again from injury. This guy is like, Reece James was already back from injury, and Kai Havertz is back from the C19 virus, and Hakim Ziyech is back from injury. So those situations, like I said, even you compare for Frank Lampard with Graham Potter, humanly, if you use a lot of common sense, you understand that it's better and it's easier to win a game of football when you have N'Golo Kante on the pitch 100% fit, and you have Reece James and you have Ben Chilwell. Because even with their natural abilities and skills, even if you don't coach them, they can score you goals. So it's easier. So if you look at somebody who were missing 12 players injured at some point, all are in the first team. All are your starters. You are Raheem Sterling. You are Ben Chilwell. You are Reece James. N'Golo Kante. Because even Thomas Tuchel at some point, he said, N'Golo Kante is our Messi. He's our Neymar. He's our Van Dijk, Mo Salah. When he's not there, it's like a lot of stuff missing. So we need him on the pitch fit all the time. Even, one of the greatest managers in the world right now says so. So how about you missing 11 at some point? So it's just common sense. But it's not going to make any sense if your mind is already set to, that English player, that English manager He's from Brighton. That is his level. Blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's black or white. The mind is set. You're not going to see the other aspect of what he could have done with better players on the pitch. And also another aspect of like you bombard him with 1,000 new players. The Athletic are just reporting that some players in the meetings needed to sit on the floor because they are lacking even where to put them. So as a human being, to fit all those people, those little things doesn't really mean a lot to us as fans, because we just want to win. Who cares about your excuses? But if you start looking at it slowly, closely, you will see that it's not that easy. So that's what I wanted to say. Mr. Andrew is in the house.
Good afternoon to you, gentlemen. Happy Easter to you all.
Yes, sir.
I hope you're all having a wonderful day.
Great.
Spring cleaning.
like myself. I just wanted to jump on quickly. I tend to agree with you there, Orgs, in regards to Lampard staying on, whether he wins the Champions League or not. I don't think that's the case at all.
Okay.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, you are breaking, bro. Are you still there?
No, I want to ask.
Andrew, we can't hear you anymore. Are you still there? I think he's having some issue with his microphone. But he will be coming back. We can't hear you, Andrew. And yeah, you can jump anytime. Even if I'm speaking, you can cut me. But go on, Mr. People's Republic. I think he's
the other day you came out with a nice word. I like this word very much. You said déjà vu. Remember that day you were talking about repeat? Now, Mr. I don't know whether Potts.
Yeah.
He was talking about Lamps must stay. Even if he wins the Champions League, he must stay. This sounds very much like Di Matteo. Remember Di Matteo? He was flopping bad in the league, and somehow he won the Champions League. Back next season as a trainer, then they fired his ass after, how long was it? It didn't take very long because he was
sacked. He was sacked. He got smashed by Juventus in the second leg, like 3-0 by Conte. Antonio Conte destroyed him in the Champions League, and we were out of the pools. But the other year, we went to win the Europa League because we were dropped from the Champions League to Europa League, and we went to win it. But yeah, he got smashed. The first leg at the bridge, Oscar, remember 2 goals, awesome goals from Oscar, the Brazilian. But we drew, and then we went away to Juventus, and Antonio Conte was the manager back then of Juventus, and we got completely destroyed. After that game, Roman was like, no, man, you gotta get out of here.
but the thing is that he's sort of like his, I don't know if you could say his reputation or his status or whatever it is, it's been somewhat tarnished. You know, that way he got fired and whatever way he left. Yes, he won the Champions League. He'll always be a legend. But his image somehow, and I fear for Frank, if he flops this second time round, his image, you know, he's a legend. He's a huge legend for the club. And it may be damaged for forever. You know, unlike John Terry.
You're right.
John Terry, we will always remember him in the highest esteem because he's never failed Chelsea.
That's why he doesn't want to even get there and, go to the management, because he want to, stay away from this, and people will just respect you.
It's the same thing with all these guys who go to, they don't want to take the manager's job. They'd rather be on TV talking nonsense as pundits, because the same reason, they know they take the management job, they end up like Gary Neville, 7-0 against Barcelona and that kind of thing. There, your image is finished. And so you rather take a nice cushy job in the background a little bit there, but you don't want to be in the front lines, so to say.
Frank Lampard. Okay, I don't want to cut you here, but Frank Lampard is somebody who wants like a kind of competition. Even back in the day when he was playing, he wasn't like a wow kind of player. He doesn't dribble people or whatever, but he's just so efficient. Like
Hard working.
Hard working. It's just like people say Ronaldo, but that is another case. There's no comparison here, but I'm trying to make a point that if you see people talking about Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, like Messi is like naturally gifted, but Cristiano Ronaldo is kind of hard work. Like, I'm going to prove you, I'm going to have this best statistics. So Lampard was kind of nothing really spectacular, but because of his hard work, like if you look at his uncle Redknapp interview, and he's like, I've never seen anybody like that. Like, he will come at the training ground like an hour before everybody and keep on practicing shooting the same way, shooting from different angle. Everybody leaves after the training. He will stay there, keep on training and training. So hard work made Frank Lampard who he is. So I think he's so determined, like as a manager too, if I keep on forcing and working hard, I'm going to get there. So hopefully he gets some experience to see that management is different, because you can't just playing tippy-tappy football all the time. Sometimes you have to defend 1-0 and win the game. And there are so many aspects to the management instead of you as an individual player. So hopefully he learned something, and you can tell that he's really determined to make it as a manager the way he did as a player, because really, let's be honest, if Lampard was lazy, probably was going to be a good player in the Championship, not in the Premier League level, because naturally he's not gifted. When he's running, you look at him like somebody who is going to fall. Like, he's weak even physically when you look at him. Like, nothing really spectacular, but look at the result. So, Mr. Andrew, you are back, and we're going to go to Mr. Tanish after that. How's the baby? How's the baby? Good?
The babies are fine. The missus is looking after them. They're in the kitchen.
All right.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you clear.
Yeah. Just as you mentioned, in regards to Super Frank there, I think one thing that I would like him to do is obtain the proper experience and educate himself. Be an assistant manager to someone who's top class, so he can
like Ancelotti or something.
Yeah, like Ancelotti or something like that, Mourinho, so he can get the tactics and learn how to get the players, on board and stuff like that. When he first got this job, I think it was too big for him, and although he did well, he still had a hell of a lot to learn, and I admire his ambition. That's clearly there, that he's very determined and he's very ambitious, and he wants to be, at the top, like some of the other top guys. But I just think he needs to educate himself more, get that more experience, that knowledge from other managers who've been there and done that year in, year out. And there's no reason why he can't come back and be a Chelsea manager. But he needs to get that experience first. He needs to get that education first. That's how I'd love to see him do that. But I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Tanish, you are in the building, brother. Go.
Yeah, okay. So, Frank Lampard, I have a few issues. Firstly, Chelsea sacked Frank Lampard, brought Thomas Tuchel, sacked Graham Potter, and now we're back to square one. That's the issue. It's because, I'm happy with the caretaker position for Lampard, but Chelsea have gone backwards, because Chelsea a few seasons ago were like 6th or 7th, and now we're bearing down a mid-table finish, because Chelsea, with any manager, will not get top 4 with the team we have, because there's no play to finish our chances. Look, I'll tell you all the players who attacking our team. Kai Havertz, Joe Felix, those players are not 10 goal season players. If you look at them in the past few seasons, they have not scored over 10 goals. Chelsea really need to get a striker in the summer because even with someone like Julian, Nagelsmann, and Luis Enrique, Chelsea are not going anywhere to sign a striker because our finishing issue has been a problem since Diego Costa left Chelsea, and it's only been exposed recently. And I honestly think Chelsea should sign Rasmus. I can't spell his name from
Højlund. Højlund.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, the guy from Sassuolo?
Yeah, from Denmark.
No.
He's from over here, Denmark. Højlund.
Yeah, Denmark. Holland. He's
Oh,
kicked
okay.
5 goals. He's kicked 5 goals in 2 games in the Euro qualifiers, and is going to be one of the only players who's 20
Okay.
who has kicked 10 goal involvements in
Oh
a
yeah,
top
I
5
think
league.
I remember that. I heard about that kid, but I haven't really did any research.
Yeah, all the top 6 clubs.
How
going
old
for him.
is the guy?
20.
20 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like Drogba. He's like a Drogba.
Yeah.
Okay, but
He's
that's what
special.
we said when we signed Datro Fofana, but we haven't even given him any chance yet. And then we want another Drogba, so I don't know. Yeah.
With Holland though, he's been absolutely great in internationals, and he's been alright in the Serie A too. Holland is a player every Big 6 club is going for. Arsenal, Manchester United, Liverpool. Only Big 6 clubs who aren't going for him are Spurs and Manchester City.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair
he's
enough.
rated at 60 million.
Fair enough.
Because-
yeah.
yeah.
Go on. I don't want to
Because
cut you. Sorry.
Chelsea-
Yeah.
Yeah, because Chelsea, instead of going for a player like Victor Osimhen, Ramos, Vlahovic, we should aim lower for like a 50, 60 million player, which is still a decent strike for us. Because we already also have Fofana, and we don't need to spend like 130 million just to get another 50-50 flop again. We need to spend smart this time because Chelsea are losing a lot of profit by going around and spending 100 million on every single player we buy in the market.
Okay.
Because
that's-
100 million is absolutely a lot. Like
Yeah.
people don't realize that just because the market's inflated does not mean that 100 million is just something we just can spend on every single player. We have to make smart investments because Chelsea are not going to get European football next year.
Yeah, and don't forget that we have Nkunku. Apparently, the deal is done, so he
Yeah.
might come and help us for the goals because he scores a lot in the Bundesliga. But you never know. Werner came here and he didn't do that good. Even though I think that I don't know how I like that guy. Still, I don't know how, but I'm still kind of
Yeah.
Werner's guy. But let's wait and
Apparently-
see. And also we have Armando Broja who could be back. We
Yeah.
don't know how
Yeah.
good he's gonna be after that ACL injury. So I don't want to count on something that is not really sure. We will come back to you, Mr. Tanish. We go back to who hasn't spoken for a while. Mr. Pod, anything you want to add on our number 9 position next season?
Our number 9. Let's wait until we get a manager for the long term and decide who that number 9 is going to be, because we don't know what's going to happen yet. We literally don't know. So let's just get through this season and then see what the summer brings, and then hopefully an elite manager will walk in, and then we buy new players. We do not buy players just because they're the best players in Europe. We buy players to fit the system. It's as simple as that.
Okay, so that makes sense. Andrew, do you have any name in head right now for the number 9? Lukaku
not
still
really.
there. Don't forget that.
You know what? I was opposed to bringing him back.
Mm.
You know, because after everything that's been said and done and blah blah blah. But if we get to the summer and he comes and he performs, I'd be willing to give him another chance. Because if we're trying to, all right, it's not our money.
Yeah.
But it would be good if we'd be able to save, spend appropriately. If there's people there or there are players there that we can use and we can integrate them into whatever system we're going to be using next season, and he does fit that system and he's able to perform, then why not give him that chance? You know what I mean? And also with that trophy final as well. What I would love to see is what I'm hoping to see is to see that fluidity between the front three. I don't want to have everybody. I don't want to be depending on one lone striker to be scoring all our goals. It'd be good if we had a number of players who are able to score, whether from the front three or the midfield. Midfield. I mean, if Kovacic, being there all those years.
Oh man, don't even get me
started. And so on.
Don't even start with Kovacic.
My goodness,
that
guy in such a great position.
Yeah, twice even. Like the guy is so good on dribbling, good to watch and all that. But when it comes to the final third, it's always a problem.
So poor. And if we had a midfield, all right, we've got Enzo, Kante's on the way back. Perhaps even this Andre Santos. He'd be somebody who'd be able to do all the things that Kovacic does, but can finish.
Yeah.
That would be such a plus, for the club, as well as with the wing backs with Reece James and Ben Chilwell. Who's to say what this Malo Gusto can do, when he comes in as well. So that's what I would like to see. I don't want to just
count on one person when he's injured and then you are stuck again. We need goals from everywhere. You are right.
That's correct.
And let's hope and pray that this Mikhailo Mudryk is going to start scoring goals too. And Noni Madueke also, he was scoring for PSV, whatever team he came from.
Yeah, PSV.
So let's just get them firing everywhere. Enzo Fernandez, I've seen him with Argentina and with other teams like being top corner. That guy can shoot really. So yeah, man, we need people to score goals. That's the most important. Mr. People's Republic, anything to say about our scoring situation?
My situation about the scoring, I've said this. All this talk about number 9, blah blah blah. It's all overrated. End of the day, I'll give you an example. You go and look at Man City. How Man City is. It took them some years to develop that system. Even Liverpool, for that matter. They don't play that traditional long balls into the box, crosses, what have you, and then you have your big, strong number 9 there to finish. It's all intricate. You can see Man City last time they didn't have that tank playing with Haaland last game against Liverpool. Yet goals were flying in from all midfielders, and was even a defender scored there as well. So you have to, Chelsea have to find a way to play against teams that park the bus and compact the midfield, compact the defense, because Potter struggled with that. Tuchel before him struggled with that. Even Lampard, even Conte at the end, they struggled with that. But on the counter-attack, Chelsea is toxic, deadly. There's no team which can play against Chelsea when they play. If you play open football against Chelsea, Chelsea will murder you. There's no question about that. You don't need. You remember when we used to have Werner, or was the other guy? Even Huck was playing pretty well then. We played that counter-attacking style there. But as soon as teams discovered how to play Chelsea, we didn't have a clue. And even now, you can go buy whoever's available. All these players we mentioned, it will still be the same. Nothing will change. So whoever comes in, whoever, whether it's Nagelsmann, whether it's this guy here, what's the name, Spanish guy? I've forgotten his name.
Enrique. Luis Enrique.
Enrique, or whether it's our friend from Atletico Madrid comes in.
I knew that. I knew you were going to push something for your boy.
I had to get Simeone. Honorable mention. But
Simeone.
But what, it doesn't
I
matter
don't
who
want
comes
dead football at Chelsea, man. Simeone is
Can I just ask? Mr. People's Republic. Why is it you're so set on Diego Simeone?
Simeone, he loved Diego Simeone.
Stability, long-term stability.
I see. Okay.
Because he's been at Atletico for how many seasons now? We did the stats the other day. He's never finished below third. Second, first, second. And
because it's the Bundesliga, bro. It's the Bundesliga.
Spain.
Oh, he's in Spain. Oh, La Liga, sorry.
Madrid.
La Liga.
You can call the Premier League is supposed to become Ligue 1 with Man City just winning. So
but
you can't.
Other than that, you have a really very, very tough competition. Look at Chelsea, 11th. So that's the way it is.
But we don't belong 11th. Come on, the Chelsea is not 11th place team. Look at the players we have there.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you don't turn up to your games. We are 11th because that's how good we are. We have to accept that. Talent doesn't mean anything.
And all that is lack of planning for years because we are so used to shortcut, quick fix, bam, bam, and we don't really take care of like the building for, long term. I think if Roman really had like some kind of long-term vision, we were going to win even more trophies, in my opinion, back to back to back. Because if you look at Manchester City in the last 5 years, they won 4 times the Premier League. That tells you how stable they've been. But us, it's gonna be okay. Buy Peter Crouch or Andy Carroll and try to win a trophy, and then go back and all the dead wood. Buy Danny Drinkwater and stuff like that, because that's what we want, like KO's FC.
But you see, and your friend Tom Tuchel, sorry to interrupt, Thomas Tuchel, he won the Champions League playing that sort of like half anti-football, there, defensive stuff, whatever. Fine, God bless him. He won the Champions League. Next season he came back. The fans, Abramovich, they demanded attacking football. They didn't want more of those. And what happened to him? He didn't have a clue. Lost his job. Next guy comes in, goes back to the same old original Tuchel system, and here we are. They don't know how to attack. So where is Chelsea? And to add to Mr. Moderator's point of view, because we have no long-term planning, you don't have every 18 months you change the manager. There's nobody ever has a chance to develop a system, to develop attacking style of play, to develop. So it's just going to repeat.
Because of people like Aziz King here is going to say, I'm going to fly to London and have one-on-one with Porter. Aziz, go. Aziz, you are back.
Okay, you guys are saying, this thing about the attacking football. Yes. I understand. Everybody's not going to be Barcelona. Everybody's not going to be Man City playing attacking style football. Even Madrid doesn't play attacking football. They play counter-attacking football.
Aziz, sorry to interrupt you. I would take Newcastle United football at this moment in time.
Yeah, because the team is shit. We got in an attacking player, but were we winning? We got in Potter. We're playing Potter football. Interesting football, but were we winning? No.
It takes time to gel those kind of football. The kind of brands, yeah.
So, because Chelsea has been built the way has been built on defensive style.
You are breaking, brother. You are breaking. Where are you at? I can see you like you are in your basement or something. You still in your basement? In the park? In the car?
No, I was in the park.
Okay, so now, let's.
I was in the park.
Oh yeah, I see. Beautiful. Let's go.
Yeah, I came to work out there. So what I'm going to say is that Chelsea has been built on a foundation of defensive style football, winning trophies by any means. You can't just come and change it all of the time.
Brother, I'm gonna take you off and come back again because we can't hear you. You are breaking. I think the network in your location kind of dodgy. But thank you so much for you. What he's saying is like, what are you gonna do if you're attacking football if you don't win? The end of the day is about winning. That is what he's trying to say.
I think we have to be very careful about that, though, don't we? Because whoever the next manager is long term, we have to think, okay, we want goals and we want attacking football. So realistically, we should target the top 6 or the top 7 and build slowly, because by building quickly, we've seen that it's not going to work. Look what's happened. We've ended up 11th. So a long-term project is better for a club rather than a short-term project. Look at the mess that Arteta inherited. But long-term, he was given the time and the resources
and look where he is now. So if we give Nagelsmann or Enrique the time and say, look, top 6, top 7, first season you get 3 hit, just get us playing attacking and get us attacking and scoring goals, because a lot of Chelsea fans think, oh, it's simple, change the manager, get the best attacking player in the world. We can't do this anymore because it's just going to be the same old again, and it's going to take 5 years, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Mr. Tanish, brother, you wanted to say something? Go.
Yeah. Okay. So the other people's points, it's just with one, we have players like Joe Felix who try to drill past everyone and who have open players, and Joe Felix, look, I like me some Joe Felix, but I just don't want him at Chelsea next season because he's a selfish type of player. He's just very selfish type of player because he's had 2 or 3 open people in the side flanks and he's not passing to them. And number 2, Chelsea have been top 4 for the last 4 or 5 seasons. So we haven't really had a season where we've contended with teams like Manchester City and Liverpool. And I have a reason for that. Chelsea, they really their recruiting process for managers aren't terrible, but it's just that we hire managers like Graham Potter, which look at the time wasn't the worst decision because he was a very, very rated manager, but
it's Brighton.
Oopsies. With Chelsea, I just want them to take their time with this manager decision because this manager is going to have to stay for the next 3-4 seasons. If Chelsea just rush it, we'll be having to pay an extra 40-50 million to just get an extra manager plus pay another.
That's why I got your point, and that's why it's important what they did. Get an interim manager now, Frank Lampard, for 2 months. And then take their time to kind of figure out who's going to do good in the long term instead of like rushing. Because remember when we sacked Thomas Tuchel, like 1 hour later, Graham Potter was driving already to Cobham and have his interview. Their mind was already set. It was, okay, we get rid of this guy. Potter is the guy. They didn't take into consideration other aspect of, managing a dressing room like a Chelsea, winners, a World Cup winners and all that. They didn't take into consideration that just because he worked at Brighton doesn't mean that he's going to work at Chelsea. So I think what they did now of, take their time because everybody wants, let's go for Enrique now, let's go for Nagelsmann. Maybe their demand also is so tough for the team to agree. Maybe they're going to need all their players. Okay, I want this, I want that. And we already have, 1,000 players already waiting to play. So they have to make sure that they do the right thing. Somebody who is going to use the players that are already there. He can get maybe 1 or 2 players just to implement the system, but we already have a team here. So
so my response to that is another thing is Chelsea. Look. So these type of information, with Chelsea, they got Frank Lampard because Bruno is basically a clone of Graham Potter. Bruno is basically Graham Potter 2.0. Okay.
Yeah.
So
but Bruno Saltor is the guy who took over from Potter, but apparently he didn't want to stay there because he's Graham Potter's boy. So Frank Lampard is here for a short period of time. So people, let me just remind you very quickly here, we are getting closer and closer to the end of the show. If you can give me some more likes, let's get at least 40 likes for this show. I will appreciate that. And don't forget to like and subscribe. This is a new channel. We are getting there, almost 1,000. So we can do it today if you come here to help us. So you can...
Mr. Moderator.
Yes, sir.
A hypothetical question, because you were saying that whoever manager comes in, he will probably want to bring his own players. Let's just say if it was Harry Redknapp, we're just making some fun here. Which players would he bring with him? He always brings the same players.
Right? I don't even know his managerial style is. So I don't know.
He's always had the same Benjami, Benteke. He's
But
always
they're
had the
already
same.
retired. Like
I know,
Benteke
but
is playing.
he just always brings his same plays. A bit like the guy Hodgson. He always likes his same old plays, and if you bring in Conte, you probably bring his own
his own players that he trusts. Yeah, you're right.
Enrique will be the same. Potter, by the way, you know, that success at Brighton didn't happen overnight. It took time, you know. It took a long time.
3 years. Took 3 years for him to build that team. Yeah.
So you can't expect him to come to Chelsea within 5 months and build Brighton. This is the problem he faced. No, the pressure of winning was ridiculous. Even look at Arsenal. Arsenal, that everybody says Arteta, but in reality, it was who was that guy from Mr. Ebening?
Yeah.
Ebening, he's one who changed the culture. He changed the culture and the mentality of that club. And of course, when Arteta came, he insisted. Remember how they always played from the back and they kept on losing the ball, but they persevered. They kept at it, and at the end, you know, you look at them now. Arsenal is on a different planet, and but that's taken also 3 years. 3 years of Arteta to perfect that system. So it didn't happen overnight. But we at Chelsea, we just used to success, instant coffee. We don't have time to wait. So we are our own worst enemies because we have no patience. So I don't know where whoever comes in, it'll probably be the same old cycle. 18 months, he's gone. Next. And managers line up for Chelsea. Obviously, it's a very good salary and very good.
Yeah, even if you get sacked, you get a lot of money that you never will get that in another team. So you can afford to stay out of the job for 10 years and you're still good. So
exactly. So this is why that's why they never have problem finding managers, because they're all lining up. I want that job. It's 15 million.
Good. Yeah.
15 million a year. But how much do they get paid? How much does Potter get paid a year? 15 million or something? But plus your reputation has been destroyed. Don't forget your reputation has been destroyed. $60. I think I read somewhere 60. If you include the buy, if you include what it costs to buy them out of they paid 20-something million to buy him out from. This Lampard. Who is his coaching staff? Is he taking over Potter's people, or is he? Oh, yeah, I can hear you. I hear you. I see. Okay, so I've got the TV on. I can't hear you. It's true. So you are muted. I'm not a technical guy, so I wouldn't know these things. So I'll show you. Yeah, so you're probably gonna. I'm trying to talk here, but I can't even hear myself anymore on the TV. Can I hear myself? I'm afraid of. Okay, now I can hear you. No. So I have to give a message from the moderator. A goodbye. Yeah. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, and our moderator is having technical issues with his microphone, he is going to have to sign off and end the stream. But he will be back this evening at some time. I don't know. He didn't inform me, but I don't know what time he'll be back. I'm sure he's got some games or something to cover, or some topics, or some new news on what's happening in Chelsea. So he'll be back with another live. So he apologizes beforehand to all the people who didn't get to hear him, and he's ending the stream over here. So we'll see you next time. Bye.